Hi y'all, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's story is a true story that's all about a girl that we are gonna call Ashley for the purposes of this video and what she did to me and my friend. I would also like to add a trigger warning because the topic of a person offing themselves comes up, so if you might be sensitive to that topic, I would recommend maybe finding a different video to watch. Thank you. Okay, so a little bit of context in this situation. Ashley and I had been best friends for about 4 years at this point, and we would call and text each other all the time. She was always there for me, and I was always there for her. She helped me get through some pretty hard things, like when my other best friend said she didn't want to be friends anymore. She stayed up all night just talking to me, trying to make me feel better. Then there was one summer where my parents told me that we were moving to another state. This made me and all my friends very sad, but we were already making plans for the next summer when I could go back and hang out with all of them, and that is when this story takes place. It was a year after I had moved. I still kept in contact with Ashley and we were still great friends. What was going to happen was that my dad was going to drive halfway to meet my friend, who we will call Olivia for the purposes of this video. I would be staying with Olivia's parents the next 2 weeks or so. When we finally got about halfway and met my friend at a restaurant, we immediately started talking to each other and catching up on everything that was going on. I found out that all our friends were blowing up their phone asking if I was there, or not even Ashley. It made me so happy knowing people were missing me and were excited for me coming back. I was so excited to see all of my friends. We ate and then we hit the road again. We had to stop at a hotel because it was getting so late. When we got there, I was able to connect to the Wi-Fi and check my phone. I had a ton of texts and missed calls from my friends. I didn't have any data or minutes on my phone at this time, and that's why I couldn't text while on the road. Anyways, I noticed that I had gotten a message from Ashley, and so I opened it and saw it was about her and her boyfriend. Apparently, they had gotten into a fight. I talked to her and was checking up on her to make sure she was okay, and then I got ready for bed and fell asleep. The next day we woke up at 4 a.m. so that we could get going early. The trip took so long, but we finally got to Olivia's house at 5 to 6 p.m.-ish. For the whole trip we went inside and got settled in. After that, when I had Wi-Fi, I saw that Ashley had texted me again about her boyfriend, so Olivia and I hopped on a call with her and we were all talking to each other when Ashley said that she was going to add her boyfriend, who we will call Tyler. So Ashley added Tyler to the call. Olivia and I agreed to it, and so she made a group chat with the 4 of us. Eventually they started arguing about different things, so Olivia and I left because we wanted to give them their space. A little bit later she invited us back on and said that they have figured out their problem, so Olivia and I joined back on and we all had a pretty good time. Eventually Ashley's parents told her that it was time for her to go to bed and that she had to give them her device. Since she left, we decided to leave too because we didn't want to make her uncomfortable. However, we did still talk on the group chat because she could look at it if she was wondering what we were talking about. We were chatting and joking around. It was a really fun time and we stayed up super late. That's when I got a text on my private messaging from Tyler. I gasped and Olivia looked over and asked me what was going on. I showed her what I had just got. Her and I were immediately suspicious because what would he want to say off of the group chat? I clicked to open it up and it was him telling me how he thought I was pretty. I immediately started telling him to stop and showing that I did not like him at all and that he shouldn't say that because his girlfriend was my best friend. I showed Olivia and she burst out laughing. Not gonna lie, I was being a bit mean to him, but I wanted him to know that she was my best friend and I would never ever do anything to hurt her. Then I went and asked him about Ashley. Then he starts talking about how she was getting on his nerves, and then he called her the B word. I was mad at him for calling her that, so I told him to just shut up. Then Olivia told me to ask about her because she wanted to know what he thought. I said okay and then sent a message. I gave Olivia my phone so that she could read the message. I began watching a show that we were watching when I heard her gasp. I look over and ask her what he said. She didn't respond to me and seemed mad and sad at the same time. Then I asked her if she was okay, then she showed me the phone. I read the text that he had just sent. He had just said that he thought that Olivia was fat. This made me really mad because she was already uncomfortable with her weight. Right after that he started begging me to not tell Olivia. I said I wouldn't tell her, and I didn't lie because she had read it on her own. Then Olivia went and privately texted him asking why he had said that. The first thing he did was come and ask me why I had told her, and I explained to him how I didn't tell her and how she had seen it. At this point it was getting pretty late and I was done with all this crap. I told him that he had to tell Ashley or I would. He said he would, so I shut my phone off and went to sleep. The next day about mid-afternoon I asked him if he had told her yet, and he said no, so I got kind of annoyed and shut my phone off. The next day Olivia's family and I were going camping with some of their friends for a few days, and so I told him that he had better tell Ashley by the time I was back or I would tell her myself. So the next day rolled around and we went camping, and it was so fun. We had a great day. Also, where we were camping was on a mountain, so Olivia didn't have any cell service. The next day after the first day of camping, we went to town to a gas station to get some supplies and to use the restroom there. When we got to town and Olivia had cell service, she checked her phone messages and had gotten a message from Tyler. She opened it and gasped. I immediately was worried about him, that maybe I was a bit too mean to him because I am not a normally mean person, so I always feel super guilty if I snap at someone or if I am mean to them in any way. Olivia showed me the message from Tyler, and it's basically him saying how he told Ashley what he had said to me. I was sort of happy because I felt like a weight had been lifted from my shoulders because I had been feeling super guilty after that first experience with him in my private messages. Then Olivia showed me the attachments that he had also sent to her. I took the phone and saw what he told her and how he had sent the pictures from our conversation. That's when I saw what I never would have thought would be there. Ashley started saying how I was not a great person and how I was toxic and how he shouldn't like me because I am no good. This really hurt because we had always had a bond and I shared with her so much of my life and was my true self in front of her. Then Ashley went on to say how much of a bully Olivia was. This made me so mad because Olivia has gotten me through hard stuff and she has never given up on me. We had just reached the gas station as I finished reading the messages between the two of them. Olivia and I head into the gas station while her mom stays in the car. The gas station only had one bathroom, so Olivia said I could go first, and so I walked in, and as soon as I walked into the bathroom I started crying as quietly as I could. I couldn't believe she would say that about me, all for a boy. Didn't our relationship mean anything to her? Didn't our 4 years together mean anything? I was mad and sad and I felt betrayed. After I finished using the restroom I looked into the mirror trying to make it look as though I had never cried. However, that attempt was useless because as soon as I left, Olivia noticed that I was crying. She hugged me hard and said it would all be okay and that Ashley didn't deserve a friend like me. After we had both finished up in the restroom, we walked back outside and went to the car. Her mom was still in there and asked if we were okay. This was the tipping part for me and I began crying again. Like, why do people have to ask if I'm okay? Like, here I am just chillin', trying not to seem like a big crybaby, and then some comes over like la-di-I die and are like, you good, and boom, water works. All that effort I just spent the past 5 minutes trying to hide my emotions, and you just go along and rip the scab off. Like, thanks a lot. Anyways, I started crying after her mom asked if we were okay. Then Olivia shows her mom the screenshots of Tyler and Ashley's convos. Her mom immediately went and shot Ashley's mom a text about this situation. Her mom replied with this, "I kid you not," these were her exact words. "Ashley has nothing to be sorry for. I'm sorry, Chili." What Ashley was literally smack-talking me and Olivia just because she wanted her boyfriend back. Also a little bit of context on Ashley's mom: she is scary, like, not gonna lie, she terrifies me. We were all fed up with Ashley and her mom that we are gonna give her the name Karen for this story because it fits her like a custom-made cast. After that bitter interaction, we went back to camping and had a lot of fun again. We went four-wheeling and I completely forgot all about Ashley smiley face. It was another amazing camping morning minus the whole Ashley drama that had just happened. However, more towards the middle of the afternoon it started pouring down. We all just stayed under a big tent someone had brought with them and we talked and played games. This was so fun and I even won a few games. The next day we went to town again and went to use the restrooms there again. Once again, when we got into town and Olivia had cell service, she got a notification from Tyler. It was him saying that he was just a mess up and all alone, so he was leaving Skype, which was the app we were using to communicate. Looking back, I realized that that was low-key, high-key pick-me boy behavior. To make it worse, in his bio he had said that he was going to off himself. This made me have a mini panic attack because I started thinking of all the ways I could have handled this situation better. I started feeling super bad for being mean to him. Olivia showed her parents and they said that he was probably just doing it for attention and that we had done nothing wrong and that we would be okay. After that we went back to the campsite where we would take our last ride around on the four-wheelers before we would take them back. This time I had finally gotten enough courage to drive and it was super fun. On the way back, however, I was driving with Olivia on the back when I saw two of the people who were in our group lying on the side of the road. One was holding his hand and looked in a lot of pain and the other was pacing around. At first I was a bit confused, like what was going on, and then I realized that they had probably gotten flung off. Once I realized this, I pushed the brake and we came to a stop. We were in the back with only one group behind us, which thankfully was Olivia's parents driving their Razor, so it had 2 extra seats that they could ride in. The person who was pacing ended up taking the four-wheeler back to the campsite, which luckily wasn't too far away, and we rode after him. Olivia had taken over driving because I am slow like an ancient turtle who got hit by a baseball bat. Anyways, we rode back and found out that they had taken a turn too sharp, and since the path was gravelly they were heading towards a rocky slope area when the four-wheeler just stopped and flung them off, and the other person, the one who was sitting on the side of the road, had hit his hand on a tree and hurt it. The second person, the person who was pacing, said that his hand hurt a bit but that he was fine. A few days after that we found out that his hand had been sprained, so that was fun, lol. Anyways, after that whole messy schmeal we went back to Olivia's house, and when my phone reconnected to Wi-Fi I got the same message from Tyler that Olivia had also gotten about him, saying he was logging off. I decided to try and send him one last text. I told him how I was sorry about being so mean about him calling me pretty, because quite honestly it doesn't implicate anything. While I was waiting I told Olivia that we should try to call Ashley. Olivia agreed, and so we FaceTimed her. She answered the phone and said hi and asked us how the camping trip went and if we had fun. She was acting like what she had said to Tyler had never happened. Then Olivia brought up what she had called us and what she had said about us behind our backs. Immediately Karen stepped in because apparently she had been listening the whole entire time. Like, what the heck, lady? Anyways, Karen starts yelling at us saying that Ashley didn't do anything and that we were horrible people who just try to hurt others. Like, okay, I get that you want to protect your daughter, but we are children who are not your kids, and she had no right to talk to us that way because she was not our parent. Then I asked what we had done and Karen just scoffed and said, "Ashley doesn't have to answer that." Like, I'm sorry, what? What do you want us to do? I had no idea why she was even mad at me, and I had no clue what we had done to make her mom so mad. I then offered to screen record and show her what Tyler had said just in case he had changed anything. Her mom started yelling at us again, saying that that is what hurt her in the first place, watching me flirt with her boyfriend. I wanted so badly to either start yelling right back or go cry, because I am not at all a confrontational person, and when people raise their voice at me it just makes me want to cry. Olivia pointed out how I didn't start talking to him privately and how he had started talking to me first and how all I did was reject him. How did I ever become friends with such an amazing person? She always had my back. However, Karen was still having none of this, and she said that I was no friend if I was talking to her boyfriend behind her back. Once again, Olivia pointed out that I had said that I would tell Ashley if Tyler didn't. Karen still didn't listen to us and said that that was the end of discussion. This is when Ashley chimed in. She was looking pretty uncomfortable. She told us to just let bygones be bygones, which made me pretty mad because even after almost a year she was still telling people about how I had somehow made her sad because I was asking for something that she owed me. I wanted to bring that up but knew it would do nothing besides cause more conflict. I told Ashley that we had to go unpack and I hung up. Immediately after that, Olivia went and told her parents about Karen yelling at us, and they both agreed that she should not have done that and that she should have come to them or to my parents if she had a problem with us. It was about a week later and we were throwing a party that I got to invite all my friends to. Olivia and I were debating whether it would be a good idea or not to invite Ashley. Eventually we decided that we were going to invite her to the party because we didn't want to make her upset and cause any drama, because we had had enough of that. We sent out evites and waited for responses. Around 2 days or so I got a text from Tyler telling me to be careful around Ashley because she had told him how she was going to beat me up. They had met in karate class, so he knew how much she could hurt me if she chose to try and fight me, but I knew her better than that. She was all talk but no action. She wouldn't hurt me because even if she wanted to, there would be people around and she would get in big trouble. I told Tyler not to worry and that I would be fine, but he was still worried. He kept telling me things like, don't let her get you in a room alone together and make sure there's always someone watching, etc. It was really kind of him to be so worried, but he was low-key making me worried about this also. I told Olivia about what Tyler told me and she told her parents, and they said that they would keep an eye out, but they figured the same thing that I did, that she was all talk and was probably still trying to get him back. The date for the party came around and everybody had arrived except for Ashley. Everyone had gotten their pizza and we all headed out back and sat on the trampoline. I was having a great time. It was amazing seeing all of my old school friends and some that weren't from school. It was amazing. I left the trampoline to go set my drink on the porch and I was headed back to the trampoline when Ashley had arrived. I saw her walking towards me and I got a little knot in my stomach. She got real close to me and hugged me like, chilly what? She kind of just stood there hugging me, so I looked over her head and gave another one of my friends that we will call Billy. Just FYI, Billy is a girl. Anyways, I give Billy the please help me look and she comes to my rescue, *Q patriotic music *. Anyways, we hopped back on the trampoline and finished the day and had a great time. A few of the girls who didn't go to the same school swapped numbers and then they all left. Overall, I would rate that party a success. A few days later, we planned a sleepover with a girl we will call Gretchen for the purpose of this video. So the day for this sleepover came around and I was looking forward to it because we hadn't got to talk at the party a lot. So the sleepover came around and it was after a fun day and we got some froyo, which was so good in case you were wondering. So we were in our PJs eating our froyo when Olivia remembered how Ashley and Gretchen had swapped numbers. She asked Gretchen if she would mind doing a loyalty test on Ashley because she seemed super friendly at the party, but neither me nor Olivia wanted to trust her too easily after what she had just done. Gretchen starts off the convo pretty nonchalantly, trying to make this as natural as possible. Then she brings up Olivia and Ashley again starts smack-talking us. I was mad because even after us inviting her to the party and her hugging me and being super nice, she still went behind our backs again. Now a few years later, she has recently tried reaching out to me, but I just blocked her because if she is going to talk about me that way, I honestly don't need her as a friend. Do you think I should give her another chance? Leave your response in the comments below, and also remember, if anyone talks bad behind your back once, chances are they're going to do it again. It really hurt being betrayed by my best friend, but now I realize some other red flags that I had just ignored earlier on in our relationship. Olivia is still my best friend in the whole entire world, and she is still there for me. Thank y'all so much for watching this video till the end. I appreciate it so much. If you ever want to enter one of your own stories, go to my channel and then to the discussion area, and there you will find a link that will take you to a form to enter your story. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!